Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. It is Christmas Eve. Hadn't done a video in a couple days, so just figured I'd do a random live stream on Christmas Eve. We did one, I think it was on the eve of Thanksgiving, and I may have even stayed on here very late and went into Thanksgiving, I believe. And it was, you guys were very happy, so figured why not try it now for Christmas Eve. It seems like a lot of people aren't doing nothing, especially, 9, 10 o'clock at night, at least where I'm at. So we can talk about MMA. There's not much going on right now, but there's always so much stuff to talk about. After this live stream, I'm going to work on some videos, hopefully post a video maybe tonight and then one tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. But do me a favor, guys. If you're in here, do me a favor and like the stream. I greatly appreciate it. Means a lot. We are currently up to, let me pull that up real quick, actually. I always usually like to say it on the stream. We currently have 1,828 subscribers. If this is the first time watching my channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. I was hoping to get to 2,000 subscribers before the end of the year, but it looks like that's not going to happen. But it'll probably be the first week of 2022. We're going to hit 2,000 subscribers. So, guys, fill up the chat with questions. We can talk about whatever. When I do these random live streams, I literally don't care what we talk about. So let's see. What's going on with French Fries? Hope you're doing well. What's up, Torin Brown? Joey, let's say Oliveira vacated the belt after 4 defenses in 2023. Who will fight for the title and who will win? That is such a unique question. And usually when I do these streams, I pull up the rankings because half the time I can't think off the top of my head. I'm going to answer the question a little bit differently. If Charles Oliveira did not exist, who would be the champion? That's the way I'm going to answer the question. And I'm going to say, without Charles Oliveira there, I'm going to say Islam Makhachev is the champion, And he might be the guy to beat Charles Oliveira to begin with. So, but honestly, come 2023, to make the question a little bit more diverse, we have a lot of up-and-coming lightweights. We have Rafael Fiziev. We have Mateusz Gamrot. We have Gregor Gillespie, Arman Tsarukyan. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. 2023, it's going to be so hard to decide. But I'm actually doing a video. Somebody commented on one of my community posts. But I'm doing a video on it. I'm going to try to predict how all the divisions play out in 2022. And then I'm going to predict a champion at the end of 2022 for each division. I'm going to be working on that video probably this weekend, maybe Sunday, Monday, and try to put something out next week. I got a bunch of video ideas I got to work on, but I've been busy because of the holidays. By the way, Merry Christmas to everybody. If you don't celebrate Christmas, happy holidays for whatever holiday you may celebrate this time of the year. I can't believe it's almost the end of 2021. I literally can't believe it. It seems like just yesterday I was on my laptop filling in the details to start up my YouTube channel. That was beginning of April, and now it's almost the end of the year. The channel has grown so much. I'm going to do a video also where I'm going to talk about the success of the channel, what's gone good, what's gone bad, what videos, have been super successful, and then I'm going to give you a prediction for how many subscribers I have at the end of 2022. I told you some of you guys that on the live chat the other day, but I got a bunch of video ideas coming up. But to answer your question, Cyber, I'll say Islam's the champion if Oliveira is not there. I won't be surprised if they try to give George Hamzat and George ducks him, and he says that Hamzat ducked him. So I thought it was pretty funny. Masvidal's coming out. Everyone, and you guys have heard me defend Leon Edwards. I'm one of the very few Leon Edwards defenders. And, time after time, I've said that Leon Edwards is out there accepting fights. We have to stop criticizing him. He's accepting every fight that's been offered to him. Jorge Masvidal pulled out of a fight. He was supposed to fight, 2 weeks ago now? Yeah, 2 weeks ago tomorrow. And he's saying, I'm perfectly healthy. Nobody wants to fight me. Well, Leon Edwards accepted a fight with you that was scheduled for 2 weeks ago. So what's going on? I just think it's funny, just people constantly criticizing Leon. You guys have heard me defend him on the channel. Meanwhile, Jorge Masvidal is now saying this. I think there's so many options for Jorge Masvidal. Everyone's going to want to fight Jorge Masvidal. Everyone in the top of the division matches up fairly well with Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal has become a big name since the flying knee KO. So there's really, so much. And I don't believe anybody's turning down a fight with Jorge. I think Nate Diaz will take the fight. I think Colby will take the fight. I think Gilbert will take the fight. I think Hamza will take the fight. I think Kamaru would take the fight. I think Kamaru would beat him up again if you wanted him to. Everyone would take the fight. I think Jorge Masvidal's next fight has to be Colby Covington. It has to be. So, Ducks him. But yeah, Jorge ain't fighting Hamza. I can guarantee that. What's up? Keep out. Merry Christmas to you as well. Dana White said they have Tony Ferguson a fight booked. I bet it's another wrestler. Dude, it's going to be Gregor Gillespie, and I'm going to be pissed. Happy holidays to you as well, Niles Rodriguez. Thank you for coming to the stream. Islam and Fiziev, and I'll say Islam wins. That's who I was thinking of, and I think Islam takes him down and controls him on the ground, submits him. Will Conor get an immediate title shot upon his return? Oh, man. It's very, very possible. It is very possible. There was something I actually posted in the members-only Discord, and let me pull up this screenshot real quick so I can read it to you. Somebody, I don't remember who it was, they tweeted out this. I'm going to find it real quick, and I'm going to read it to you. And it says, and I sent this in the members-only Discord chat, and I said, I could totally see this happening. They said, quote, I could see Dana White when McGregor versus Oliveira is announced. Quotes, this is Dana White talking now. People want to talk about Justin Gaethje. The kid has won one fight in 18 months. Oliveira, he's on a 10-fight win streak. If he wants to fight the former two-division champion Conor McGregor, we'll do it. And I think it's a very realistic possibility. I'm going to say it's not going to happen, but what dictates the UFC's decisions? There's multiple things that dictate their decision. One, it's what the fans want, and not because they're out of the kindness of their heart, because what the fans are asking for is what generates their revenue. Then two, the media helps kind of control the opinions of a lot of the fans. So if the media comes out and it's nonstop critical of it, then a lot of the fans, not a lot of the fans, but a good portion of the fans will turn on the idea. But the media would gobble that up, and they'll say, well, it's Conor. It's Conor. He's going to make, it's money. He's going to generate the most money, and the media will not criticize the UFC about it. A lot of the fans will not criticize the UFC about it. I think it is a very realistic possibility. I'm going to say no, that it doesn't happen, but don't confuse that for the fact that it's not realistic. Because let's say Islam loses to Beneil Dariush in February, right? And then let's say Gaethje injures himself, tears his ACL, and McGregor's ready to come back. They are 100% making McGregor versus Oliveira. And Dana would try to sell it as, that Charles Oliveira has the right to choose what he wants. And Charles Oliveira's on this 10-fight win streak, and he has the rights to do this. And that's how he would sell it. That I'm doing this for Oliveira. Oliveira's asked for it. And I don't blame Oliveira for asking for it. He looks at it as an easy payday. So, Fight Life Nation, thank you for the $5 super chat donation. I appreciate you so much, man. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. Merry Christmas, Joey. I can't stay long, but I just wanted to say that potential Dana White quote is dead on Dana White. When you read it, did you not read it in his voice? Did you not read it in Dana White's voice? Because I did. Yes, 100%. That is Dana White saying that. He would defend it till he was pink in the face, red in the face, looking like a tomato. And he would say, how can we not give it to Charles Oliveira? I mean, this guy's done everything we've asked of him, and he wants to fight McGregor. And can you imagine? Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine? I'm literally getting a migraine thinking about it. Can you imagine the calamity? Charles Oliveira is hittable. Now, don't get me wrong. I favor 100% Charles Oliveira to beat McGregor. But he's hittable, and McGregor has power. Can you imagine the absolute shit show if McGregor went out there and somehow starched Charles Oliveira with a left hand? Oh my God, I get a headache just thinking about it. But thank you again for the donation, Fight Life Nation. I greatly appreciate you. It means a lot to the channel, and I hope you have a good holiday tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by. Let's see. Let me get back to everything else that I was reading. I just saw the super chat. and had to pull it up. And as you see, that made a Conor McGregor GIF pop up. I'm just calling it an emoji. I don't know why. All right. Dana White said they have okay, read that. Happy holidays. Read that. If Justin doesn't get a title shot, is there any fighter worthy and free to fight coming up? If Gaethje doesn't get a title shot, then he has to fight the winner of Islam versus Beneil. That's what I would say. Islam versus Beneil's fighting in February. He would fight the winner of that. Other than that, there's no fight that makes sense. He's already fought Chandler. He's already fought Dustin. He could fight Dustin, but then it's kind of weird if Dustin wins. It's one of those things where Dustin's already fought for the belt like 65 times at this point. So it's hard to kind of pick out a matchup. But in a perfect world, I would like to see in the UFC book Islam versus Gaethje in December. I know that wasn't possible because you have Gaethje versus Chandler. But there was a lot of talk back and forth. Who deserves the title shot, Islam or Gaethje? I'd like to see them two fight it out for the number one contender spot. But Gaethje obviously was in that crazy fight. I don't think that, it's right to ask him to kind of turn around and have a, another fight right away. But a lot of people will not say this, and I could be dead wrong, but I think RDA is the most underrated lightweight fighter right now. The guy is a former champion. The guy only lost to elite welterweights, and people don't give RDA enough credit. I think not only do I think RDA can still compete at a high level, I think if RDA was going to fight Charles Oliveira right now, I think RDA has a very realistic shot to beat Charles Oliveira. Not that I'm saying I would pick him. I'm not saying that I would pick him at all. But I'm saying he has a realistic chance to beat Charles Oliveira, and a lot of people don't even look at RDA as, basically anybody at this point in time. Are you going to watch and stream the Ryzen fight on New Year's Eve? Maybe it's New Year's Day. I don't know. It all depends on what time it is. I'll have to see. But maybe. Masvidal's in a terrible spot right now. I don't know who he fights next because he's not beating anyone in the top 5. Maybe he beats Bilal, but I don't know. Yeah, I think that Masvidal could beat maybe Bilal. I wouldn't favor him to beat Bilal. Masvidal, as much as, I've said it a million times, I think Colby beats Masvidal. Colby's hands are so sloppy. I know they've looked half decent against Kamaru Usman, but Kamaru Usman has terrible stand-up as well. I think Masvidal has a good chance to sleep Colby as well. I think a lot of people don't give Masvidal enough credit for his striking. His striking is very good. Colby has some of the worst striking ever. So does Usman. People just think because they're so elite, because they have that great wrestling, it opens up. There's openings for the strikes to land. Usman knocks out Masvidal because Masvidal is worried about the takedown and the clinch. Masvidal clearly has better striking than Usman. So I think Masvidal is in a tricky spot, and I agree with you. I don't favor him against anyone right now. I don't even favor him against Wonderboy. But I still think he can pull off some of those wins. I think he could beat Colby Covington. I think he could beat Gilbert Burns. I doubt it very much, but I think it's plausible. It's not like I'm 100% sure he's going to lose. Does Nick Diaz fight again in the UFC? I hope not, man. I hope not. And I'm a huge Nick Diaz fan. I've said that a million times over. I love Nick Diaz. He took too much time off the sport. He was already older when he did that as well. And now, what's he fighting for? He quit in his last fight. He quit. It wasn't even like he got hit with big shots. I know some shots did land on him, but I'm talking about the finishing sequence. He just wasn't there. He was there for a paycheck. He didn't want to completely come out and just lay down and tap out right away. He just wanted to throw enough punches where it wasn't a totally embarrassing performance, but I have no desire to see Nick Diaz fight in the UFC again. But that wasn't really your question. Your question was, does Nick Diaz fight again in the UFC? And I will say yes, he will. The UFC isn't going to let him go fight for another promotion. They're going to sign him up and let him fight on another pay-per-view. And they're going to drive the narrative, and the media and the UFC is really going to push it. He wasn't prepared for the Robbie Lawler fight. He was not prepared for that fight, and he needs to, this is a Nick Diaz that's really motivated. It's going to be a new mythical creature. Motivated Nick Diaz. And we'll get one more shot at it, and it'll probably look like shit again, and then it'll be, okay, it's time to, put a stop to this. I honestly feel like, imagine if they booked Nick Diaz versus Khamzat Chimaev. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What a joke that would be. I honestly feel like Leon could give Usman trouble. Yeah, I think Leon has a legitimate chance. Leon has great striking. And I know I've said this exact quote ad nauseum, but anybody that can keep it on the feet with Kamaru Usman has a shot at beating Kamaru Usman. It's one of those things where when you have so much success, nobody really talks about your weaknesses. But and I know it's ever improving, but Usman has some of the worst striking out there. Some of the worst. It looks awful. The only reason he gets by is because of the wrestling. And now newfound knockout power as well. So, anybody that can keep it on the feet. And Leon Edwards has very good grappling. It's not the best, but it's ever improving. It was half decent when he fought Usman the first time. I know Usman's gotten better as well. But I think that Leon Edwards has a legitimate shot to win a decision against Usman. Or who knows, imagine Leon goes out there and sleeps him. I'm one of the very few people, and I know what people think, Usman versus Leon, who cares? Don't get me wrong, I love some of the back and forth, and I love, some of these storylines. But for me, at the core of what gets me excited for a fight is two elite level competitors going at it. And Leon Edwards is an elite level fighter, and so is Kamaru Usman. And I'm very interested in that fight. And I think each guy has a chance to win that fight. And I don't doubt either one of them. Top mate. What's up, Joey? Hope you're doing well. Joey Steen, thank you for coming to the stream. Appreciate you. Who does Paddy Pimblett fight next? Is it Thiago Moises? There's been rumors of Cowboy Cerrone, but who wants to see that? That's a terrible fight for multiple reasons. If Paddy beats Cowboy, what does that even mean? I guess he gets a legend on his resume. But imagine the catastrophe of Cowboy Cerrone starches Paddy Pimblett. His career is over. So, I don't like that fight at all. Also, have you heard Paddy Pimblett is scheduled to fight Cowboy? Who do you have in that fight? I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't. Cowboy at this career is at such a point of regression that I just don't know where his skills are at. He's lost so many fights in a row. He just looks checked out a little bit. But Paddy Pimblett, I'm not, he's fought and he's looked decent, but not against the elite level competition. And when you just enter the UFC and you almost lose to Luigi Vendramini, I believe his name was, and you come back in spectacular fashion, it's hard for me to gauge where he's truly at. So for me, if I was doing a prediction video, I'd probably pick Paddy just because he's younger, faster, powerful. But Cowboy is a guy who sometimes he shows up, he looks like a world beater, other times he looks terrible. If Conor becomes champion, he should immediately retire after that. That's probably what would happen. If he came back and beat Oliveira, he would retire. Dustin should fight Chandler next, in my opinion. I'd love that fight. I would absolutely love Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. It makes a lot of sense. But I don't know if Chandler, has any time to just, stop just kissing Conor McGregor's ass to fight anyone else. Michael Chandler just wants that Conor fight so bad. Next thing you know, he's going to be over at Conor's house rubbing his feet. That's how bad he wants to fight. But I love Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler makes a lot of sense from a ranking standpoint, from where they're currently at in their careers, and also from a fan-friendly standpoint. A lot of fans would love to see that fight. A lot of fans would love to see that fight. Come on, Joey, don't you know the fight game's all about the money? Yes, but it shouldn't always be. I personally don't want to see McGregor versus Oliveira. Me either. I have no desire to see that fight. Damn it, my chat skipped all the way down. Who's RDA fighting next? There's been talk of Rafael versus Rafael. Rafael Dos Anjos versus Rafael Fiziev. I'd love to see that fight. I think that makes a lot of sense. It would be a good test for Fiziev. Good test to see where RDA is. RDA is getting up there in age, so it's really now or never if he wants to make another title run. If he goes out there and impressively beats Rafael Fiziev, he gets a big fight next. I'm really disappointed we didn't get to see RDA versus Islam Makhachev. because that would have told us a lot. Really would have told us a lot. Am I the only one that thinks Michael Chandler beats Islam? He's got incredible takedown defense, amazing scrambling, and amazing BJJ, and one-shot KO power. And Islam's chin doesn't seem that great. No, I don't think you're outlandish to think that. I think Chandler has a legit chance to beat Islam, but I worry about Chandler's chin himself. If it doesn't matter if you don't have the best striking. If you find that Chandler's been in a lot of wars, but gun to my head right now, that is one of the toughest fights to pick. Chandler versus Islam. I'd probably pick Islam by decision or late round finish. As Chandler gets exhausted, he eventually gets TKO'd via ground and pound. But early on, first, second round, that fight is very, very interesting. I'm sure Charles could use that payday from Conor fight because they are underpaying Charles. Probably, or definitely. What's up, Fast? Merry Christmas to you as well. Even if Masvidal beats Colby, where would he even go from there? Am I going to give him an Usman trilogy that quick? I think Masvidal would have to hope that someone else beats Usman in the meantime. Because Masvidal's become a big name. So if he beats Colby and then let's say Leon, if Masvidal beats Colby and Leon beats Usman, next thing you know, we're looking at Leon Edwards versus Jorge Masvidal for a title. And that storyline sells itself. The UFC would make it. Nick Diaz versus Luque. Yeah, let's make that fight. You are crazy, my friend. Who wants to see that fight? I can't, you really want to see Nick Diaz get battered. Luque would wreck him. Vicente Luque would absolutely wreck Nick Diaz. He's powerful. I think Robbie Lawler was honestly taking it easy on him. Guys, do me a favor. If you haven't liked the stream yet, do me a favor, like the stream. Run up the likes on the stream. Helps push it out to more people. Get more people in here. Help more people find the channel. I really want to get to 2,000 subscribers very, very soon. It's a massive milestone that I've been wanting to hit, and I'm so close. So like the stream. Do me that favor right this very second. Don't do anything else. It takes 1 second. Leon gives Usman zero trouble, in my opinion. Okay. Nick Diaz versus Donald Cerrone. That makes sense. That makes more sense there. They shouldn't give Conor a title shot. Number 9, Ferguson is on a fight skid, and he's ranked higher than Conor. For credibility's sake, they should not give Conor a title shot. I am 100% with you. I am going to be disgusted and sick if they give him a title shot. But that doesn't change the fact that it's a real possibility. And the media would say, well, Conor's a 2-division champion, and he brings in the pay-per-views. Why wouldn't? This is a no-brainer for the UFC. And the media loves it because imagine all the articles they can write about it. Imagine all the coverage they can have for it. And it indirectly lines their pockets. So they're going to promote it themselves. But I'm with you 100% optimistically cynical. Who would Nick Diaz's next opponents be? Would it be at welterweight or middleweight? I would hope it would be at welterweight, but I don't know who it should be. Give me Nick Diaz. Give me Nick Diaz versus Tony Ferguson. I'd like to see that, but I still think Nick Diaz gets badly beaten. And I don't really want to see Nick fight again. So Masvidal's chin's getting very brittle, brother. Colby as well. Thanks to Usman. Yeah. I think it goes exactly the same way as the first fight. Oh, you're talking about Leon versus Usman. I kind of lost my train of thought there for a second. Probably. Newfound sounds like steroids to me. I guess that's what you're saying. Masvidal is 37. Yeah, Masvidal's getting up there. I don't even think Jorge or Colby's chins are turning too brittle. I think Usman just hits that hard. Who knows, man? It's hard to say. Hot take, most fighters above 155 are not elite at all. Evelev versus Topuria and Sarukian versus Alvarez will be higher level fights than Glover versus Yuri. Yeah, that's a hot take. I don't agree with that one. I think Glover and Yuri are both high level fighters. Everyone has different skill sets, It would be Cowboy's last fight. He could be dangerous in this fight. 100 question. Yeah, I guess so, but who knows what Cowboy's going to show up. Cowboy went out there in that McGregor fight, and he absolutely quit in the first round. And it was embarrassing, and then the media's coverage of it after the fact. I remember, I do not like Stephen A. Smith at all. I can't stand Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith came out and said, I saw a Cowboy that quit tonight. And the MMA fans and the MMA media absolutely shredded that man. And sure enough, you know, it was a massive topic because Stephen A. Smith's name is so big that all the MMA media latched onto it and said, "How dare you, you outsider! You're criticizing this fighter. You don't know shit." And then a couple weeks later, Cowboy Cerrone came out and said, "Yeah, I quit in that first round. I quit. I didn't want to be there." Exact words. And then the MMA media said, "Well, that's not what he meant. Stephen A. Smith still wasn't right." It was disgusting. I can still take somebody's side even if I don't like them. And Stephen A. Smith hit the nail on the head that very night. And I agree with him, even though I don't like him. But by the way, Evilov versus Topuria is an amazing fight. It would be Cowboys, okay. Does anyone else think Conor is steroid considering his new look? Just coming off an injury, he wants to heal as fast as possible. Wouldn't surprise me, but also it wouldn't surprise me if it's just like the lighting and he's really, really flexing hard and you know he's just getting those perfect pictures. He's probably not as big as he seems. You know, Connor's probably you know, you can make a lot of stuff seem crazier than it is in pictures with the right lighting and stuff like that. But it would not surprise me. I don't trust any of these guys. I think Oliveira beats Islam quite easily. Yeah, I would favor Oliveira to beat Islam. I think Oliveira is the better striker. I think he has the better submission skills. I think Islam has the better ground and pound. I think Islam has the better cardio. But if you notice, and this is true about Islam and Khabib, when you pressure them, they do not fight so well. And the reason people don't pressure them is because of the fear of the takedown. And Oliveira, I said there's a different way that you can throw your hands when you're not fearful of a takedown. You know, Oliveira doesn't care. Try to take me down. I'll submit you when you double leg me. So I very well may, in a potential hypothetical fight, not only pick Charles Oliveira to beat Islam Makhachev, pick Charles Oliveira to beat Khabib Nurmagomedov as well. Because that pressure, I really believe, is key to beating both guys. And when you're not worried about the takedown, you can really pressure as much as you want. And Oliveira is one of the guys with the best pressure in the game. I know Khabib is too very well. And that's the key to his fighting style, is to have you backing up. Look what he did to Gaethje. Gaethje was scared for his life running backwards. I just watched that fight the other day. Gaethje was scared for his life. Scared for his life. That's not going to be Charles Oliveira. Let's see. Yeah, Dustin Poirier made by far the most money at UFC 269. That's crazy. But also, if Conor got popped for roids, by the way, all the media would defend him and say, "Oh, it was just something that, you know, he was trying to heal up his body. He had a broken leg," and they would defend him. They're Conor apologists, along with his cult-like following as well. Yeah, Dustin. Okay, who's getting the next flyweight title shot after this trilogy? I don't know, man. If Figueroa wins, we might see a quad trilogy. I don't know what it's called, but a fourth fight. If Brandon Moreno wins, I think we see Alexandra Pantoja fight for the belt. And I think Askar Askarov should fight Alex Perez for the next shot. What is this? Guys, keep the questions coming. Keep the questions coming. Let's see. I want to see Bilal or Brady versus Luque next. There's so many great fights to make it welterweight. If you guys have, after this stream, if you haven't checked out my video, every fight to make it welterweight, basically, I think I called it UFC Matchmaker Welterweight or something like that is the title of the video. Go check that out. What's up, Tony Brown? Hope you're doing well. What fights are you on your dream card? Not Islam Makhachev. Charles Oliveira versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. Jones versus Ngannou. Yuri Prohaska versus John Jones, but I know that doesn't make sense because John Jones is already fighting Ngannou on the very same card. Nate Diaz, Conor 3. Love all those fights. What's some fights you guys are looking forward to in 2022? Happy Xmas Eve, peeps. Thank you, 5-star reviews. Guys, if you haven't liked the stream yet, go like the stream. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go subscribe to the channel. Help me get to 2,000 subscribers. We are so close. We are 172 subscribers away from 2,000. And if you publicly subscribe to the channel, your name will pop up in the live stream. So we now have those notifications. If you subscribe, if you become a member live on the stream, if you send a donation, your name will pop up on the screen. I set that up now. Also, guys, if you want to become a member, I'm always posting stuff in the members only Discord. We have a members only Discord where you can message me directly. We got a bunch of custom emojis that you can use in the chat as well as the comments. And also you have loyalty badges next to your name. And I post a bunch of behind the scenes stuff. I asked you guys for video ideas. If you guys message me with a video idea, I almost always do it. So if you guys want to become a member, support the channel, the link is in the description. And also if you do it while I'm on the live stream, it will pop up like right here along with the MMA GIF. So you can do that. Joey just sliding to say, Merry Christmas. Hope all is well. Thank you, Goat. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Hope you have a Merry Christmas as well. Who the fuck is that guy? Yeah. Who do you think is the GOAT? I think it's GSP. That man was good anywhere the fight went. It's hard, man. It's hard. I want to say Jones, but he's tainted because of the steroids, you know, and different failed tests. So probably GSP, but because the Anderson Silva is the same way. So it's hard for me. It's so subjective, but I probably agree with you. GSP, you know, he has the cleanest resume with no failed tests, but he got out before USADA. He only has one fight in the USADA air. Stephen A. Smith is a loudmouth dumbass. Yeah, but you can be a loudmouth dumbass and say, you know, one thing right a year. So in that case, he did what I was talking about before. He did. I think Khabib would lose to Gamrot, Oliveira, Chandler, without a doubt. When you have a 29-fight career without fighting a grappler apart from Gleason, which he could have lost, he will have. I don't think he'd lose to Gamrot. I hate to say it. I think he would dominate Gamrot as the Gamrot skill set stands right now. Oliveira and Chandler, he could definitely lose to. I'd probably lean Oliveira. Very close. Chandler is a very tough matchup for Khabib Nurmagomedov as well. The same feeling about his opponents have been taken down. The same feeling his opponents have about being taken down. I see what you're saying, yeah. Do you think the UFC is still adding something to UFC 270? It doesn't seem like it, but maybe next week. We'll know for sure next week. If nothing's announced next week, then it's not happening. But I feel like something's still being added. You know, it's a month away. You know, there's somebody, you know, they could be working out a contract right now, and maybe they haven't come to terms yet, but there's someone probably training right now to fight on that card. And maybe it won't happen, but I think if it does, we'll hear about it next week. So they have time to promote it. Since he will be forced to fight on his feet and with his atrocious striking. Yeah, but his pressure is able to kind of make his striking that much better. So I don't think he gets enough credit. I think his striking is atrocious as well, but the pressure and the fear of being taken down by his opponents leads to success on the feet. But he would eventually, I mean, if Khabib sticked around for long enough, everybody loses eventually. He would get clipped with something and put out. Especially the way he just runs forward. You know, he's sprinting at you. Khabib was one of my favorite fighters to watch. You know, I think he had a super exciting style, even though people like to shit on it. He was sprinting at guys, you know, and really it was the definition of putting the pace on a certain guy. Welterweight has always been my favorite division. What's your favorite division? Right now, bantamweight. Bantamweight is nasty, my friend. Bantamweight is nasty. So good. Love bantamweight division right now. There's so many great fighters at bantamweight. I'm kind of excited for Yan versus Rockage. Me too, my friend. Me too. I'm very excited for Yan versus Rockage. But I am a little bit nervous because I hate to say it, I think Rockage is going to wipe the floor with Yan. But Yan has been a guy who proves us wrong time and time again. So we'll see. But that's a fun matchup. If Yan loses, I don't know where he goes from there. I really don't. I want to see Max Volk 3 so we can get Giga versus either of them. I love, I love Max Holloway versus Alexander Volkanovski is a very high level fight, but I am so ready to move on from that. I'm so tired of the Max lovers, and I love Max myself. He won, and then everyone undermined Volkanovski, and yeah, I just want that saga of that trilogy just to be behind us already, and I'd love to see Giga versus either one of them, but Giga's got to get through Calvin Kattar first. If he can't get through Calvin Kattar, he has no business fighting for the title. So, and for Petr Yan to smash that paper champion, I want Petr Yan to destroy Aljamain Sterling already and just set the bantamweight division back on track. It's so good. I hate that we have this fake champion in Aljamain Sterling. Like if he can't fight in February, March, they better strip his ass. At the end of the day, you have to fight in a certain period of time. They should have a hard, fast, rule on it, but they don't. Is Dana going to let Khamzat fight anyone soon? I hope so. It's a constant thing. Dana White's out there promoting. Nobody wants to fight Khamzat. Gilbert Burns said he would fight Khamzat. Bilal Muhammad said he would fight Khamzat. Leon Edwards accepted 3 fights with Khamzat. Colby Covington's basically been calling out Khamzat. So people want to fight him, make him a fight already. Neil Magny's practically been begging for the Khamzat Chimaev fight. So hopefully he gets a fight. I was hoping they might throw him on UFC 270. I just read a question and now I can't remember that quick. Who does Reyes fight next? Let's take a look. Reyes is in a tough spot. Maybe Volkan Ozdemir? He could fight Volkan Ozdemir next. That make a lot of sense, and that's a winnable fight for him. Get him back on track. I feel bad for him, man. He's in a bad spot. Dominic Reyes is in a bad spot. Joey, who are your 3 most technically sound fighters? Number 1 probably has to be Petr Yan. I mean, everything. There's not one hole you can find in that guy's game. I mean, excellent takedowns, excellent clinch work, excellent trips, excellent, Muay Thai clinch, excellent ground game, excellent striking, super defensive on the feet, variety of attack. He throws leg kicks, body kicks. He's checking body kicks with knees. Corey Sandhagen was throwing kicks to the body, and Yan was pulling up his knee and checking it with his shin. It's got to be Petr Yan as number 1. Number 2, who is super technical? Number 2, it's a tough competition. It's a tough competition for the number 2 spot right now. Who's the second most technical guy? I don't know. Number 2 is a hard one, but I'll just name a couple others. Ciryl Gane is super technical. Alexander Volkanovski is very, very... Jose Aldo is very technical. You could even go Petr Yan, Jose Aldo, Ciryl Gane. All of them guys are so technical. Looks so good everywhere. Everywhere it goes. So there you go. There you go. Thoughts on Khamzat versus Usman? I think Khamzat eats him. I think that is a highly competitive fight. And I think if Khamzat wins, he wins it standing. I don't think either guy wins that out grappling the other guy. So I think Khamzat would have to outstrike him on the feet. And I would like to see how his cardio would look in 5 rounds. Yeah, Adesanya as well, French fries. Yep. Let me actually do a poll. Who would win? Kamaru, Usman. I'm gonna do a poll in the chat. Usman, Khamzat Chimaev. Go vote in the poll in the chat, guys. Go vote in the poll in the chat. Okay. If Giga beats Kattar, of course, now my poll's blocking my question. If Giga beats Kattar, who's next? I think he fights for the title next. I think he fights the winner of Volk and Max. Volk wins another close decision, then Giga kicks Volk's head clean off. Giga can match Volk technique-wise, if not outstrike him. I'd love to see the fight. Volkanovski has a very high fight IQ. A very high fight IQ. So I would love to see how that one went. I'm on the Giga train, though. The Giga has looked so good. GSP Matt Serra, one fight is so bad of a loss. Could you imagine if Usman got KO'd to a guy like Bilal in one round? You would never hear the end of it. People don't talk about it that much, in my opinion. Yeah, I wasn't around for that. So it's like I wasn't so, I understand it now, but like to live through that moment, to see such a massive upset is different, in hindsight, just hearing about it. Who do you think gives Khamzat the most problems? Usman or Gilbert Burns? I mean, Gilbert Burns is a stylistic nightmare matchup just because of the jiu-jitsu threat. But obviously, Usman's a very tough matchup for Khamzat too, because he's not going to be able to grapple him. And I don't think, we have seen very little of Khamzat striking, but I don't think his striking is, Israel Adesanya-esque. I think it looks fundamentally good, but Usman's is pretty good too. I know I said it's atrocious, but it's good enough to get by, So if I had to pick one guy to beat Khamzat, it's probably Gilbert Burns, though. Biggest money fight the UFC can make right now. Probably Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 3, or John Jones versus Francis Ngannou, who just beat Ciryl Gane by KO. Do you ever have a quiet moment when you think, wow, Dana White's full of shit? And it's not quiet, and it's all the time. For me, Petr Yan, Jose Aldo, and Volkov. Or Volk, I think you meant. Not Volkov heavyweight, right? I'm with you, man. I love all of them. Jorge Masvidal has some crisp and smooth boxing. Jorge Masvidal, I used to talk about him. He was very underrated. And I know people are going to laugh at me for saying that. He used to be very underrated. Before the Darren Till win, Masvidal was very, very underrated. People acted like he was some scrub. And now he's very overrated because people are just way too high on him because he flying knee KO'd Ben Askren. But he definitely has some very crisp, tricky striking. And, I think he, obviously it showed. A lot of people thought Darren Till was absolutely going to smash Jorge Masvidal. I knew that wasn't the case. I picked Jorge Masvidal in the fight, and I wish I had a YouTube channel because you guys would have saw. I was because one of my buddies actually came over for the fight. I was telling him, dude, Jorge Masvidal is going to knock out Darren Till. Darren Till is just way too susceptible, and he's overhyped. So Jorge Masvidal used to be very underrated. Adesanya is pretty technical. Agreed. I want to see Dustin versus Justin fight, but will that happen if Justin beats Charles? No, I think if Justin loses to Charles, it's probably more likely. But it's hard to say. I don't know if we'll ever see it again. It's just tough right now with the lightweight division. So many guys are going for their second shot at the title, but it could all be shaken up when you have one guy who just happens to just dethrone the champion, and there's nothing but fresh matchups now. So, and I really want to see Dustin versus Justin Gaethje as well. I would love to see that fight. That was a very close first fight, very amazing first fight as far as excitement wise. And if we could see that again, I think you fight that fight 100 times, it's 50-50. Each guy wins 50 times. So my vote is always wrong. You got to be more careful then. Wait a second. Double, triple check it. So now we got a 50-50 poll right here. What's your thoughts on Paddy Pimblett, how far he can go? I think it's too early to tell, my friend. I think it's very early to tell. I think that, he has one fight in the UFC and it didn't look particularly impressive. So it's guys can get better, time and time, every fight out. So I need to see more from him before I can really get, right now I have no idea. Khamzat KO'd Meerschaert easily, so we know he has power. Yes, he does. Your KO of the year. I'm not sure yet, Goat. I'm not sure. I think the Masvidal KO was amazing of Usman. I think Rose's head kick KO. Yuri Prohaska spinning back elbow KO. And there's probably plenty that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. Do you think Reyes' confidence is broken? He used to be so confident and delusional about himself as a fighter. I wonder how his career goes from here. I talked about it early in my channel when I did a prediction for Yuri versus Dominic Reyes. When people start getting that broken nose issue and every fight their nose is bleeding and they can't breathe out of it, it's like a signal of their career ending because it's just something that can't be fixed. Every fight, their nose is broken, and that's what Dominic Reyes has right now. It sucks. It's unfortunate, but I think his confidence has definitely taken a massive hit, losing so many fights. And who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I feel bad for him. You know, he definitely was an elite, world class fighter. But over the course, you know, he fought Jones in February of 2020. Over 2 years, look what happened to him. This is awful. I feel terrible for him. Uh, so yes, I think it's taken a massive hit, and I think also combined with perpetually getting a broken nose, we've seen it happen to Rory McDonald. It's still happening to Rory McDonald. Constant broken nose that affects guys more than you realize. Mine is Rose just because of the odds. Yeah, I think that was massive. KO of the year nominees are weak. Uh, what were the nominees, and who does the nominees? The UFC? I don't even know how that works. I'm gonna do my own top 5. What's next for Marina Rodriguez? So Marina's coming off that win over Mackenzie Dern, correct? So I don't know, man. She's right. She's right up there, ready for a shot at the title. I wouldn't mind if they did Marina Rodriguez versus Wei Lee, Rose versus Carla. Because other than that, there's nobody for her to fight. I mean, who's she going to fight? Yan Xiaonan, I think is how you say her last name. Isn't she coming off a loss? Let's see where Yan Xiaonan sits. I thought she's coming off a loss to Carla Esparza in a brutal TKO. I remember that now that I've seen the result. Yeah, I think it's going to have to be either Weili Zhang, Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I want to see. That's the fight I want to see because I'm looking at the rankings right now and I forgot that she's not in there. I'd love to see Marina versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk or Weili Zhang. That's the 2 fights to make. So it looks like 60% are picking Kamaru Usman over Khamzat Chimaev. If you haven't voted, go ahead and vote real quick before I end the poll. And guys, do me a favor. If you haven't already, like the stream. I would really appreciate it if you like the stream. We're streaming on Christmas Eve. Come on now, you can't like this stream. And I'm also wearing my Jelly of the Month t-shirt. You know, shout out to National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, one of my favorite Christmas movies. So do me a favor and like the stream. It's Christmas Eve. So it looks like Kamaru Usman, people are picking Kamaru Usman 60-40. But I think Yuri KO is the best of the year. I would, you know, I lean to agree with you. I'm going to look through some of the best KOs of the year and then make my top 5. But I've been slacking off these last 2 days. So, but it's definitely on my top 5 for sure. It's one of the best ones. Yuri got KO'd in that fight also. Upkick. You can actually go back. I did a live stream. I saw that live. I saw that he got knocked out live with that upkick. It's on my live stream on the channel. So you can check that out if you want after this. One of my first ever live streams. Yuri, okay. Do you think Rose versus Carla will be in March or do they have to wait longer? I have no idea. It's probably going to be on one of those cards that doesn't have the biggest main event. Like maybe we get Piotr Jan versus Aljamain Sterling as a main event and we get Rose versus Carla as the co-main. Maybe February. No, February is already taken. Yeah, I think March. I think March is co-main event. We're going to have to see Aljo versus Piotr Jan sooner rather than later. But that might be on the Adesanya versus Whitaker card, so we'll see. But that definitely isn't main event worthy. I picked Jorge to beat Leon. I don't think that's unreasonable. I would probably pick Leon, but I don't think it's unreasonable to pick Jorge. Because if Jorge lands like Nate did in their fight, Leon Edwards is going to sleep. I think Yuri's KO is best, but Usman will win. I mean, Yuri's KO was insanity. I'm going to have to go back and check out my own live stream soon. Because I know I probably had a crazy reaction to that. Jorge on his best days destroyed Edwards, in my opinion. I'd probably agree with you. Jorge Masvidal used to be criminally underrated. And I know that sounds crazy because of the amount of hype behind his name now. But he used to be criminally underrated. Nobody cared about him. Nobody watched him. I wish I had a channel. There's no way I can prove this to you guys. But I guess why would I make shit up like this? When he fought Damian Maia a while back, that was for the #1 contender. And I was of the belief that if Jorge Masvidal got by Damian Maia, that he would beat Tyron Woodley for the title. I was never a massive believer in Tyron Woodley. I was one of the very few people that picked Kamaru Usman to beat Woodley up. And you guys, you just have to take my word for it. I know I could just be making up shit here. I ain't even talking about it, shit that I don't have video evidence of. But I actually predict Usman to dominate Woodley the way he did. I was very confident in my prediction. And sure enough, he went out there and wrecked him, Uh, but you just have to take my word for that one. So, who knows? I could be making shit up right now. But you guys, I've told you picks before. And, I've gone through them multiple times. And it's one of those things where there's nothing I can do. I can just be honest with you guys, and you guys can think I'm possibly lying, but I'm not. So, do you think, okay, if Michael Venom Page ever comes to the UFC, how do you think he will do? I think he will do awful. Too many wrestlers in the welterweight division. I don't know if he can fight, he can make lightweight or not. But if he fights at welterweight, I mean, Usman, Colby, Gilbert, Hamza all would wreck his ass. Would wreck his ass. Who is your favorite media ex-MMA junket, the Smo, etc.? Rephrase that question because I'm having a hard time understanding what you mean there. Who is your favorite media ex-MMA junkie, the Smo, etc.? Are you saying who's my favorite MMA media? I don't know where the X comes in. MMA junkie, the Smo, etc. My favorite, to be honest, I don't have a favorite. I don't like any of them. I'm going to be honest, that's one of the reasons why I started the channel. I genuinely, and I don't know how much you guys believe this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I watch interviews, I watch embeddeds. I barely pay attention. Examples. Okay, I see what you're saying. Examples. See, I misunderstood you there. I genuinely don't pay attention other than reports. I follow a lot of MMA reporters on Twitter, and I just look for the news. Other than that, I don't really watch a lot of them. I mean, a lot of these MMA media websites, I just think, I hate to just shit on them, but it's just like, a lot of them I almost feel, and you guys will probably know some websites I'm talking about. There's some MMA websites that, they have people working for them. They cover the fights and everything. They just literally feel like they're being held hostage to cover MMA. I don't feel like they're truly passionate about it. It doesn't particularly excite me to watch. I'm being dead serious. I don't really watch any MMA content, from I read the articles, and not even read the articles. I just read the headlines, okay, this fight is reported. This fight is in the works from ESPN, I'll watch Brett Okamoto's ESPN interview with Dana White. If TSN, what's his name? I can't remember his name, does an interview with Dana, I'll watch it, or a fighter. But other than that, it's not like I'm really watching a lot of the MMA media. I used to watch a lot of Luke Thomas, and I occasionally still watch him, but not very much. And also, it's crazy to me because in this last year, it's changed quite a bit. It's like I am no life in this YouTube channel here talking about MMA constantly. It's like I can't, it's not like I'm tuning in to every MMA show just because I'm already talking about it and giving my opinions on it 24/7. What do I need to hear, Ariel Helwani's opinion on it or whoever, MMA Junkie's opinion on it? But again, to answer your question, I look for articles. I look for, tweets from reputable sources. But other than that, I don't really go to MMA websites. Occasionally, like today, before I got on here, I went to MMAfighting.com and I just scrolled through and make sure there was no big news that I just happened to miss. But other than really that, there's not a lot I watch. I mean, I don't even, like, generally on YouTube, I'm trying to think, I occasionally watch Luke Thomas Morning Combat, and that's it. Occasionally, and that's very, very rare. I would say maybe once every 2 months. Actually, I'm lying to you. there's somebody that I really like that has a very similar style to myself. Not exactly the same because he does a lot of interviews and stuff like that. But I really enjoy James Lynch's content. He does a lot of interviews, but he's also a very level headed person with his opinion. He doesn't come off extremely biased. And I don't feel like he's never talking about a specific fighter or spamming videos about a specific fighter just because it's going to generate clicks. I mean, there's people, and I'm not talking about actual, maybe just YouTube, MMA YouTubers, not even MMA media, because I don't consider myself MMA media, that all they will do is just constantly pump out videos. Hamzat Chimaev, videos saying absolutely nothing. 4-minute video, intro, outro, ad in the beginning that's 1 minute and 25 seconds long. It's just one of those things where that shit drives me nuts. And it used to drive me nuts long before I had a YouTube channel. They'll post a video about Sean O'Malley and they'll say absolutely nothing in the video. So to answer your question, even though I just went on a long-winded spiel, I like James Lynch on YouTube. Go subscribe to him. He does a great job. I enjoy his content. He's very level-headed, and he has a very similar style to me, or I have a very similar style to him, actually. He's been doing it longer, so I have a similar style to him. So go watch James Lynch, and that's pretty much it. I don't understand how some people say Bruce Lee would have been champion. You might think I'm crazy, but I know he would have got absolutely destroyed, out-grappled. I'm not super familiar with his skill set, but he would have got out-grappled. Joey, I saw Helen Yee for the first time recently doing a crazy interview with crazy Sean Strickland. She does great interviews. I've seen a little bit of her. I watch interviews here and there. Meriden Heights, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I appreciate it so much. All the money goes back into the channel. If anybody, because people have asked me this before, and so I set it up. If anyone ever wants to donate to the channel via PayPal, I now have a PayPal link in the description. So if you ever don't want to, whatever reason you don't like to send super chats, not that I'm saying you have to or whatever, but if anyone ever wants to donate via PayPal, my PayPal is in the description. And all the money you donate to me goes back into the channel so I can make these videos and eventually, hopefully, be a full-time MMA YouTuber is what I want to eventually do, is the goal. Habib said everyone's time runs out as the new guy moves into the UFC. 100% agreed. Quit lying. We know you watch MMA Guru. Yeah, not really. A lot. I never even knew of MMA Guru before I started my channel, and everyone kept saying I was the American version. But I've seen, a little bit of it. Obviously, when I say I don't watch MMA content, I still browse around and try to find other small MMA YouTube channels and just see what they're talking about. It's not like I'm watching a lot or even whole videos, but if you have a YouTube channel, whatever topic it may be about, and you're not looking at what others are doing, you're failing yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice because you have to see what other people are doing that is successful and do your own version of that. I'm not saying you got to copy people or anything like that. But, obviously we're talking about the same fights and stuff like that. But if you're not trying to learn, and I'm constantly trying to learn and improve the channel, I, have some of the best video quality and the best audio quality. I know the stream's a little bit different because the video is a little bit degraded because it's a live stream, but I try to give you guys the best possible quality that I literally physically can. So I hope you guys appreciate it. Merry Christmas. Same to you, Meriden Heights. Jesse on Fire is the biggest clickbait YouTuber there. I said it. I've seen some of those titles. People comment. I found out about him when I did my Diego Sanchez videos in Mayish, June-ish. Yeah, that's not for me. There's some people that love that style of a more, soap opera type coverage of MMA, but that's not for me. That's not for me. I like talking about some of that, but yeah. Hi, what, Uncle Clit. Hey, I'm kind of new here. I have a question. Who's your pound for pound GOAT in the UFC of all time. We actually just talked about this a little bit, maybe like 10 minutes ago. And guys, keep filling the chat with questions. We are at 1 hour right now. As long as we keep questions going, I'll stay for like, an hour and a half, 2 hours even. If we keep having questions, it's Christmas Eve. I will stay on for a while. I like to do these, these streams at random times. It's very rare that I'm doing a 10 p.m. Friday stream with no fights. So guys, keep filling the chat with questions, and don't forget to like the stream. Honestly, my first notion is to say John Jones, but I feel like he's excluded because of the positive test. When you're constantly failing tests, it's kind of excludes you. And the same for Anderson Silva. So the person who has the best resume with no failed tests has got to be George St. Pierre. Comes back, claims the second belt, even though he cherry-picked Michael Bisping and then dipped out before he had to fight any real contenders. I think still the resume speaks for itself, and he was fighting the best of the best for a while. So I would probably go GSP, but it's hard not to say Jones and Anderson Silva as well. Most hated fighter on the current UFC roster. I wonder who that is. That's a good question. Who do you guys think is the most hated fighter on the current UFC roster? I don't know. I really don't know. I never put a thought into that. Who do fans? Aljamain Sterling, easy. Aljamain Sterling, most hated fighter, easy. Once it popped in my head, it was. Anderson Silva still my GOAT. I actually have a picture, a huge autograph picture of Anderson Silva. I will post it in the community tab very, very soon. I have a huge, it's a beautiful picture. It's probably like 30 by 24. I don't even know what the dimensions are, but it's huge. People, what did I just see that? Oh, okay, on my iPad. I asked this earlier, but don't think you answered. Sorry about that. What's next for Valentina? Is it a Pena rematch? I haven't a clue. I doubt it. I think Valentina just beats up another bum. Maybe she just beat up Lauren Murphy. Maybe a rematch with Jennifer Maia. I don't know. I have no clue, my friend. You're going to have to give me an answer to that one, French fries. GSP is also a really nice guy as well. Very true. People love to hate Conor because it's trendy. I don't like Conor at all. Honestly, he just rubs me the wrong way. The guy is constantly tweeting. He's barely fighting. He's won one lightweight fight in 5 years. I can't stand Conor. And I used to be a huge Conor fan. I used to be a massive Conor fan. And he's lost me along the way. I mean, I just find him incredibly annoying. He doesn't fight. He's full of shit. And people... I'm so sick, and I'm going to go on a tangent now, Hank Hill. Thank you for bringing up this topic. Because there's something that really drives me nuts. And you guys have heard me talk about this before, especially after UFC 264. But there's this narrative constantly, and it drives me up a wall. I'm just getting infuriated thinking about it. Conor McGregor has a family now. Conor McGregor has all this money. Motivated Conor McGregor is a mythical MMA creature right now. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. What more motivation do you need than you're standing across from a cage from another guy with millions of people watching, and that guy is trying to take your consciousness? I'm tired of the constant excuses, and it's always, I'll never forget, I didn't have a channel then. But after UFC 257, when Conor got KO'd by Dustin Poirier, Josh Thompson and Big John McCarthy went on their podcast, which I've watched a little bit of, haven't watched it since, I don't think, where they just were the biggest Conor McGregor apologist I've ever seen. He's got kids. He's got money. Plenty of people have kids in the sport. Plenty of people have money in the sport. Okay, if he has millions of dollars, that's fine. But he's still going out there and someone's trying to take his consciousness. That isn't enough motivation. I'm tired of these guys that what they do is, and I know some of you guys in here may be big Conor fans, and that's not a problem. But what they do is, and this really disgusts me about MMA media in general, they will kiss Conor McGregor's ass just because they want his fans to love them. If I came on this channel and I touted how amazing I thought Conor was and how amazing I thought Sean O'Malley was and how amazing I thought all these fan favorite fighters were, Nick Diaz and everything like that, I'd probably get more subscribers, more likes, but I will never come on this channel and tell you guys something that I don't honestly believe. And I'm sick and tired of these constant McGregor apologists making excuses for the guy. What's it matter? Who's to say? I'm so tired of it's not the same Conor from 2016. Of course it's not the same Conor from 2016. But who's to say he isn't a better version of himself, but he's just losing? Can that not be a possibility? It's just annoying. It's disgusting. The dude lost to Nate Diaz in the prime of Conor's career. He lost to him twice, in my opinion. Stop. Just stop. Disgust me. Let's see. I hate Jeff Molina. I'm not even sure who that is. If Khabib were to continue his career, do you think he would dominate division in 2022? If he gets by Charles Oliveira, then yes. Maya's fighting Chikagian on the Giga card, so probably whoever wins. But we also know she's going to beat either of them again. Well, we thought that about Pena against Nunes. So I guess we'll have to see. Prime Conor was a sight to see. If he definitely sucks to see him basically lose his mind from money and alcoholism. He was such a short fuse. He needs mental help. He clearly needs mental help. But I'm not a big believer in the fact that Conor is so bad today. I think Conor is still very good. I think it was a product of the weight class and the matchmaking. He got very favorable matchmaking at points. I'm not saying at all times. And he went out there and smashed some guys, and he did it in very impressive fashion. But Conor's always saying I'm better than ever, and I know everybody always says that. But who's not to say he's just not good enough to beat Dustin Poirier? Conor could be the. Could you imagine if Conor would have beat Dustin, even in the same form he is? They'd be saying Conor's better than ever. It is what it is. Jeff Molina is literally the most cocky kid on the UFC roster, and he's so disrespectful towards his opponent. I'm going to have to look him up. I don't remember him. I'm probably familiar with him, but let me see his face. Jeffrey Molina, El Jefe. I don't remember him at all. He's off the Contender Series. Yeah, I don't remember him at all. I'll have to keep an eye out for him. Personally, can't stand DC. Not a fan of him constantly sucking off his teammates. Yeah, I'm not a huge DC fan either. I don't hate him. But I do find him annoying and incredibly biased. And I'm always calling out bias constantly. And he's incredibly biased towards his teammates. And it's annoying as hell. Prime featherweight Conor was unbeatable in my opinion. Yeah, maybe at featherweight though. But he was a weight bully in my opinion. But I get what you're saying and I agree. Durden said some pretty dumb things this year in my opinion. I don't remember. I remember hearing about it. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I never try to pay too much attention to that shit. Who deep throats fighters more, DC or the Weasel? I'm familiar with the Weasel, but I don't watch a lot of his content, so I don't know. All Khabib is for me is what if he retired way prematurely for me to say he's the greatest. I don't care if what his fans think. I am a huge Khabib Nurmagomedov fan. He retired too early to claim he's the greatest. 2 title defenses, right? 2 title defenses or 3? Because technically he beat Aljamain. Then he's 3 title defenses. He got a title off, not Aljamain. What is his name? I'm not looking it up. Al Iaquinta. To win a title over Al Iaquinta, ugh. But yeah, he definitely retired too early. He fought Quiligi Ori as the first fight of the night, and Usman Masvidal too, and for a 50K bonus. I'll have to catch a glimpse of that. Who are your guys? Do you guys have any small MMA YouTubers you watch? Like, what are your favorite ones? I like to check out other channels and kind of see what they're doing. And I don't watch a lot of it, but I always like to see what other people are doing. So if you guys have any like smaller MMA channels you watch, not like the Weasel or Morning Combat that have over 100,000 subs, let me know in the chat. I'm always curious to check them out. Sean O'Malley versus Piotr Jan. So let me put it this way. Sean O'Malley got leg kicked by Chito Vera, and he was stretchered out of the cage after being flash KO'd with ground and pound. And I truly believe that if Piotr Jan lands one of those leg kicks, they better have emergency services on standby, because Sean O'Malley is going to be laying on the ground, writhing in agony, and he better hope and pray that Keith Peterson isn't the ref, because he'll just leave him sit there and Keith Peterson will be smoking a cigarette off to the side. So Piotr Jan defeats Sean O'Malley and defeats him badly. Into Thin Air, thank you very much. I appreciate you, man. I try to be different, you know. I've watched, you know, one thing I do watch a lot of on YouTube recently is what good practices to do on YouTube to, well, how do I phrase this? To be successful. And one of the things that I learned even before I started the channel is there's a lot of parody on YouTube. There's a lot of people doing MMA prediction. There's a lot of people talking, doing the same thing. But I feel like my channel is genuinely different because I am not going to be so biased towards a fighter just because people love him. I'm giving you my honest take, even if you hate it. One of the very few people, I did not see anybody on YouTube, MMA media, just MMA YouTubers in general, talking about Nick Diaz quitting. I didn't see it happening. I didn't see any MMA YouTubers discussing the fact that people thought that Amanda Nunes fight was rigged. And I just try to be different, I don't try to go crazy or anything like that. I'm talking about things that I feel are relevant and very important to discuss. And I try to give you guys my honest opinions on them, regardless of if you guys might not like that opinion. And I hope that's the way it comes off, because I'm literally just telling you exactly what I think. I'm not sugarcoating it because, half my subscribers love Sean O'Malley or whatever. You guys get the point. Into Thin Air, thank you so much for your support, man. I greatly appreciate you. Fast, you are my favorite MMA channel. You're really the only one I watch now. I hope it stays that way. I appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate you. Merry Christmas to you too. Into Thin Air, greatly appreciate you. Oh, that's a good one. I'm sorry, I just skipped down. I saw Pitties and STI. Mixed Molly Whoppery, I do watch his videos. I don't watch all of them, but he has top-notch storytelling, and he does it in a way that's very entertaining. So I've watched a lot of Mixed Molly Whoppery's videos. So I do like Mixed Molly Whoppery, but I don't watch all his videos. I generally would say a month I probably watched less than 30 to 45 minutes of MMA content on YouTube, which is crazy. Which is just crazy to me. I used to watch a lot of it, but it used to be just so unsatisfying to me. I felt like people weren't saying things that needed to be said. Good. Jeff Molina just rubs the wrong way with me. I can't stand him. Well, I'll be rooting against him for you next time he fights Fast. Can they even sanction an O'Malley versus Yan fight? I like how you misspelled it and you said Yam. I want to see an O'Malley versus Yam fight. I think they can sanction it. I mean, O'Malley's still calling now he wants to fight Giannis. I think instead, how crazy is it that O'Malley's ranked higher than Simon or Ricky Simone? When I said his name by itself, I wanted to say Simon. He's ranked higher than Simon with a win over Raulian Paiva. Raulian Paiva will probably never, ever be ranked in the top 15 again. He was there one time. The guy will probably lose his next 3 fights and be cut. So it's one of those things. Ricky Simone got a big win over Sunsel, much better win. Joey, it hit a perennial nerve. That was a fluke. But yes, Piotr Jan does beat him in a third. Cyber, you're never going to win with this one. I'm just going to argue with you till I'm blue in the face. So then, can't you say every knockout was a fluke? Well, it just hit him right on the chin. It was a fluke. It was a fluke. It hit him right on the chin. Chito Vera kicked his perennial nerve. Was that not what he was aiming for? Did Chito Vera slip on a banana peel and accidentally kick Sean O'Malley's leg? No. He was aiming to kick his leg, and then he flash KO'd him with strikes on the ground, and then Sean O'Malley had to be stretchered out of the cage. Stretchered out. He was carried out on a stretcher afterwards. I will never believe that was a fluke. And it's not like people act like Sean O'Malley was just whooping his ass before then. It was a relatively close fight up until that point. O'Malley was probably getting a 10-9 round up until that point. If you stopped it, right before the perennial nerve was hit, it wasn't some domination. It wasn't like he was on the way to stopping him by KO and he got hit in the perennial nerve. Come on now. It's not like stop. We have to stop. We have to stop acting like Sean O'Malley went out there against Chito Vera and slipped on a banana peel, okay? That's not what happened here. Chito Vera threw a leg kick, hurt O'Malley with the leg kick, and then flash KO'd him and had him stretchered out of the cage. End of story. That's what happened. Maybe one day we'll see a rematch. Maybe one day we won't. But stop. We got to stop acting like he slipped on a banana peel because that's not what happened. I might sound like a fanboy, but I truly believe that was a crazy accident when Sean in his foot, similar to Conor in his leg. It could have happened to anyone. Sean would have beat Chito, I believe. And that's a fine. You can have that opinion. I'm not going to say you're a fanboy because of it. I don't think it's unreasonable to say that maybe if Chito Vera wouldn't have hit that nerve, then Sean O'Malley would have won. I'm not saying that's unreasonable to say at all. But that's like saying, well, maybe if Usman didn't KO Masvidal in the second round, maybe Masvidal would have won. It means nothing, It's like if I get drunk tonight and go out and get into an accident and kill someone, well, maybe if I didn't drink, I wouldn't have gotten into an accident tonight. It doesn't matter because it happened already. It happened. He kicked the nerve and then he flash KO'd him. It already happened. We can't say if it wouldn't have happened because it happened. So, but again, I don't think it's unreasonable to think had it not happened, he would have won. I'm sure there's fights that I feel about that, but that doesn't change the fact that it actually happened. Let me think of one. Anderson Silva versus Chris Weidman won. I think if Anderson Silva doesn't get KO'd, I think he wins the fight. But again, how can we say that? It happened, so it is what it is. But again, guys, I love to hear your guys' opinion. I'm never gonna say, "Oh, you can't say those things." That's so. If I think it's totally ridiculous, I'll say it. But at the end of the day, I made this channel. Basically, we can have fun discussing, all the things that go on in MMA. I'm not gonna be one of these people who just think it's insane to suggest that. I think Aldo beats Conor McGregor if he wasn't KO'd. But he was. It doesn't matter because that's not what happened. So what happens if Chito Vera rematches him and he kicks the perennial nerve again? What are you guys going to say? That 2 flukes? It's just a non, it's nothing. It means nothing. Durden told his opponents to go back to China. I forgot his name, but he was a Chinese fighter. Just a bad taste in my opinion. I saw something on that. I don't know, if it was said in bad taste, but I supposedly came out and said he didn't really mean it like that. I don't know, man. But either way, I understand people say things that rub you the wrong way. And, I've listened to Durden talk a little bit and I don't really like the guy at all. He seems like a weirdo, but there's a lot of guys that seem like that. I think he's fighting that new guy coming in. I can't remember his name. Mokaev. He's fighting Mokaev. I think he has a fight scheduled, so we'll see. Maybe he'll, I think that guy took it the wrong way. I remember seeing that in an interview, I think on James Lynch's channel. So we'll see. The best thing about this, the fight game, is these guys get to say nasty shit, and then they got to schedule it in the cage. They gotta not schedule it in the cage. They got to resolve it in the cage. Check out Napoleon Blown Apart too. Okay, I will. One of my favorite YouTubers is Indigo Traveler. It has nothing to do with MMA, but he travels all over the world to go some crazy countries. Goes to like Yemen, goes to Africa, goes all these different crazy places. Went to Nigeria, Africa was his most recent videos. That's a guy I'm addicted to watching because it's just crazy seeing a real life version of some of these places where you only see covered on the news a certain way. Most hated fighter should be Priscilla, who has gouged that girl's eyes out while losing. Is she out of the UFC? My guess is she will be cut. You could say anyone got lucky, but it's not really luck when you're trying to do it. Exactly. All Sean O'Malley is basically ass kickboxer, and I welcome everyone to try and tell me otherwise. Well, the best thing about the sport, we'll get to find out soon enough. But I think the UFC will give him favorable matchmaking in his next 2 or 3 fights. I feel bad for Cheetah. It's almost like that fight was a no contest the way the narratives were after the fight. And what about the fact Henry Cejudo got hit on the perennial nerve before? He didn't get slept by elbows after the fact. What about Michael Chandler? He got hit on the perennial nerve before. He didn't get slept by elbows after the fact. You know, I'm so tired. You know, we can say, well, if it didn't happen, well, it did happen. Fluke KOs happen. Enter Pettis versus Horiguchi has a hand down for 1 second, no setup, no intention behind it. Very true, but it happened still. Aldo versus Conor, they say that was a fluke. Yeah. Yep, a lot of people do. I've even said that. That's what I'm saying. I understand. But at the end of the day, it still happened. You have to give them credit for it. You can't try to take it away. They did it. If they're attempting to do something and they're successful with doing it, we can't sit here and pretend it didn't happen because it did. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say that one. Who does Clay Guida fight next? Can't believe he came back and won in his last fight. Yeah, me either, man. Clay Guida has been around forever. You know, real quick while we're on here, because I'm going to stay on here for a little bit. We're having a very fun conversation. It seems like you guys are enjoying it. Don't forget to like the stream. I'll put the sub count up here. We have 1,831 subscribers. If anyone's watching this and they're not subscribed, go subscribe to the channel. Help me get to 2,000 subscribers. If somehow I can make it to 2,000 subscribers before the end of the year, I'd be so happy. I think we're going to hit it in the first week of January, maybe the second week of January. So either way, I'm happy. But I'll put the subscriber count up for a little bit. Who does Clay Guida fight next? I don't know, bro. I really don't. Clay Guida, he's still fighting in the lightweight division. I don't have an answer for you. If somebody can answer that one for me, jeez, let me look up MMA rankings. MMA rankings that has more than a top 15, because I can't remember all these fighters off the top of my head. Close. Lightweight. Or is he fighting at featherweight now? I don't remember. Is Clay Guida fighting at featherweight? Oh. Where's he at? Let him fight Jim Miller. Nasrat Haqparast, maybe? I don't know. So I'll throw out Jim Miller. Let him fight Jim Miller. Jim Miller just got a big win too. I think that makes the most sense. Jim Miller. So there you go. I got you an answer. Who does? Okay. Also, I believe Colby beats Usman if Usman wasn't juiced up. That's definitely an unpopular opinion. I don't know if it's unpopular, but there hasn't been any. It hasn't failed a test, and I know people. You know, there's probably so many people who are juiced up that we don't even know about. Although Conor wasn't a fluke, Silva versus Chris wasn't a fluke either. But in my way, did Marlon land that kick that had a 1 in 5,000 chance of actually hitting a specific nerve that shuts down your leg? But it happens quite frequently. I mean, it's not a super rare thing. I mean, it happened. There's multiple instances I remember of it happening. Durden gave me the vibe where he would say something fucked up and say just kidding afterwards, thinking it makes it okay. Probably. It happens all the time. One guy is... You know what's funny about the Conor McGregor thing? If you guys remember, both of them landed left hands simultaneously. Aldo actually cut Conor's eyebrow in the first exchange. Imagine had Aldo slept Conor with one punch. Everyone would be saying it was a fluke. Guaranteed. But we'll have to agree to disagree, Cyber Power. Maybe one day they'll run it back. And I hope, for my sake, that he hits that nerve again and he's just stretchered out of the cage. Let's see. It happens all the time. One guy's winning, then bam, a well-placed strike ends it for the other guy. Yeah, that's the sport. DFS by the numbers is nice for betting. He's strictly business. MMA Guru for entertainment. MMA Joey for entertainment. Jesse on Fire if I'm very bored. Okay. I'm glad I'm in the entertainment category. I'm glad. I'm not big on betting, so I don't like talking about betting too much. But I try to give you good insight on what I'm seeing, the way I get to things. And I feel like I have, just because I've been watching MMA for so long and just paying attention to every little thing that goes on, I can notice certain intricacies of what's going on sometimes in interviews with Dana White and different fighters and this and that, and try to give you guys some extra, information on the topic. So I'm glad you're enjoying the channel, Hank Hill. I'm glad I want to eventually become everybody's favorite MMA YouTuber. I want you guys to be asking other MMA YouTubers what they think of MMA Joey's opinion. That's what I want. People ask me, what do you think of this YouTuber? What do you think of that YouTuber? I want to hear you guys asking other MMA YouTubers, what do they think of MMA Joey? And you guys have to report back to me in the future. That'll be a ways away. I'm heading for 10,000 subscribers next year. We'll see. Then, people will really start to take notice. I love Clay Guida. He's an absolute legend and a class act. And seems he is still in his prime at 40, and it's weird, man. I don't think he's in his prime at his 40. I think the guy just has an unbelievable gas tank, and he's super durable. I'm not a massive fan of Clay Guida, but he is a legend and been around forever. The guy fights incredibly strange. He used to be super exciting, and I mean, his last fight was really exciting. But I can never forgive him for that Gray Mania performance. And then a lot of times he won't fight, and then he'll pretend like he won at the end. I was impressed with his last fight, still at lightweight. Yeah, I couldn't believe he survived. He's lucky the ref didn't stop it. If GSP versus Usman fight in their prime, who would win? I would go GSP. I think GSP outstrikes him on the feet, and it stays on the feet. Does Barboza have another fight booked? If not, who should it be? I don't think he does. I don't think he does have a fight booked. But I could be wrong. Let me check that up. Let me look that up. Edson Barboza. Let's take a look. Edson Barboza. Yeah, he does have a fight booked. That was actually just booked last month. He's fighting Bryce Mitchell March 5th. I forgot about that. Guys. Yep, so he's fighting Bryce Mitchell. I favor him to win that fight rather easily. I'm not high on Bryce Mitchell at all. I seriously thought Colby was going to beat Usman in the rematch. How did you feel about the two fights they had? The first one is top 3 best fights. Loved both fights. I picked Usman in both fights, and I think Usman clearly won the second fight. And I knew that it would be very competitive, but I thought Usman was just a better striker overall, and the fight was going to be a striking match. So, would you rather see Aldo versus Dillashaw or Aldo versus Cruz? I love both of them, but probably Aldo versus Cruz, just because I worry about how Aldo might do in a potential Dillashaw fight, but I love both those fights. The second Colby fight was way closer than people think. I thought it was way further a discrepancy than people think. Honestly, I didn't think it was close at all. I thought I didn't even think, I was shocked that people even thought Colby could have potentially won. I was shocked. Like, I didn't even suspect that to happen at all. What's up, Big Rocker Johnson? Hope you're doing well. Do you think ATT is better for Colby or MMA Masters? I have no idea, man. I have no idea. I don't know who's at MMA Masters. I know ATT has a lot of great guys in their gym, a lot of great guys that are at the same weight class. So it's hard to say, but probably ATT. But I know limited about each camp. Who's all in there. Colby really came back in the later rounds. Yeah, he did. He made the later rounds much closer, but I still thought he lost. I think I had him losing 4 out of 5 rounds. Who's some fighters that keep coming up short that you think will keep moving up a division? Who you think should move up a division and have a great chance of being a champ like Whitaker did? Colby got a draw 100%. No way. No way. Will UFC ever change their gloves, or we will continue to see eye pokes? They will never change the gloves. Let me get back to this original questions. Let me take a look. See. Who should move up a division and have a lot of success that keep coming up short? Who could move up a division and have some success? That is a tough one. That is a very tough one. Who keeps coming up short? But no, I don't know, man. I was going to say Brian Ortega, maybe. I think maybe Marvin Vettori could have success at light heavyweight. I still don't see, them having anything crazy, but maybe. That's my best guesses right there. If anyone else can offer some insight in that question, feel free. But they would never change their gloves. Colby got to draw 100%. I disagree with you respectfully. After Izzy fight Whitaker, who should he fight next after him? If he beats Whitaker, it's got to be the winner of Brunson versus uh, Cannonier. And then he should fight Alex Pereira if he keeps winning. Uh, let's see. Rapid fire ref tier list. My favorite ref is Jason Herzog, followed by, I don't know, man. There's so many bad ones. Let me look up MMA refs just to see, because I'm probably going to forget a bunch. This is an old. I need a list of refs. I don't even remember all the refs. I definitely think Jason Herzog's number one. I think Herb Dean has slowly become the worst referee I've ever seen in my life. Keith Peterson used to be pretty good. He's okay now. I used to like Big John McCarthy. So I'll go Jason Herzog number one. I'll go Mark Goddard number two. I'll go Big Dan number three. I'll go Mike Beltran number four. And I can't remember any else, so I'll say Herb Dean and Keith Peterson, then Herb Dean last. Herb Dean has just looked god awful recently. But I can't remember all the refs off the top of my head, so that's a tough question. But appreciate the question. Let's see. When will the next live stream be and what theme? What do you mean by theme? I have no idea, but bare minimum next Wednesday. Next Wednesday live chat, 6 p.m. Eastern next Wednesday will be the absolute latest, but maybe I'll throw a random one in there at some point. Joey Colby clearly won round 3. I don't remember what I scored it anymore, so I can't even argue with you on that one. Are they a fight for UFC 270? Yes, Francis Ngannou versus Ciryl Gane is the main event. I'm super excited for that. Joey, would you participate in an MMA YouTuber tournament? That would be a hilarious event. What do you mean by that? Like you're talking about MMA fights between YouTubers? Sure. As long as I'm getting paid for it. O'Malley moving up to featherweight. Yeah, right. Steven would do well at 185. A lot less grapplers there. So if Jake Paul gets a fight with Nate or George and beats them, does that make the UFC look bad at all, especially if he beats Nate Diaz? I don't think so, really. I mean, I guess partially. But the dude, is not picking out the most elite strikers there is, if he beat a UFC champion, I think it would look bad. But honestly, Kamaru Usman is so bad at striking, I think he would beat Kamaru Usman in a boxing match. I think that would be embarrassing to the UFC. But again, it's two different sports. Keep the questions coming, guys. As long as we have questions, I'll keep it going. But when we run out of questions, I am gone on Christmas Eve. It's almost 11 p.m. where I'm at. Since Nate is such a big icon, I don't think it would look particularly great, but I don't think it would matter that much. I mean, Nate's on how many fight losing streak right now? I think Alex Pereira knocks Izzy out just like he did in kickboxing. I'd love to see it, and I hope they give him, matchmaking, avoid some of these grapplers like Marvin Vettori. Just because, what's the point of having Marvin Vettori beat him? Marvin Vettori's already lost to Adesanya twice. And there's not a lot of grapplers within the division anyway. I might go to the UFC Fight Night, Jan versus Rakic, but we have to see the rest of the card. That's awesome, man. I hope you do make it. Mark Goddard, I love Dan Murgliata and Mike Beltran, my favorite. Mike Beltran is good. You just like him for the mustache. Best ref, easily Jason Herzog. Decent ones, Dan, Beard Guy, Mark Goddard. Agreed. My worst refs that I decide are Mark Smith and Herb Dean. Yeah, I hate Mark Smith. So my ending would be Keith Peterson, Mark Smith, and then Herb Dean. Mark Smith might even be last behind Herb Dean. I can't stand Mark Smith. Chris Tyogi as well. Can't spell his name. He's decent. I think. I'm going to start keeping a list of every mistake egregious mistake they make. Izzy beats Alex. I'd love to see it. I mean, adding a fight for UFC 270. I hope they do. I hope they add a Hamzat Chimaev fight. What about Mario Akamoto? I don't even remember. Mario Yamasaki, you mean? Is he even reffing anymore? I have no idea. Do you think that any other UFC fighters will join Eagle FC, probably after they get cut, but I don't know. There's not going to be any current ones, obviously. A lot of fans don't know the difference between a robbery and a close fight. Drives me nuts. Agreed. I think that's very, very true. In fact, Yamasaki is making a return in 2022. Is he? You know who I used to really like as a ref? Josh Rosenthal. He got arrested like in a big drug sting. He had a warehouse full of like a crazy amount of drugs. And I think he's out, and I think he's actually back to reffing amateur MMA. So I would love to see him return to reffing UFC events. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know, all the logistics of that, especially considering he's now a felon. But he was in jail. He was a good referee. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys remember Josh Rosenthal? No, it's not Steve Yamasaki. Steve Mazzagatti was the worst referee ever. I hated Steve Mazzagatti. And every time I see Robbie Lawler versus Nick Diaz 1, and he's like, stop talking. Stop talking. It was pissing me off. It was literally like, dude, what's it matter? They let him talk. They're in a fist fight. He was like yelling at him to stop talking. Mazzagatti is so annoying, and then he was constantly doing bad stoppages. Well, Dana doesn't hire him, but I think the UFC fans should riot if McGregor gets a title shot. This is gross. Agreed 100%. And I will be one of probably the few who will be online absolutely screaming at the top of my lungs that this is ridiculous if he gets a title shot. But I think it's very possible. Guys, if you're watching the stream and you haven't subscribed to the channel, go subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm going to get rid of this sub count here in a minute. And then keep the questions coming, guys. We'll go as long as we have questions. Prediction on Michelle Pereira versus Muslim Sukakov. Probably going Michelle Pereira on that one, but definitely have to look into it a little bit more. Michelle Pereira just seems like he's in a lot of close fights and he ends up losing them. Or at least that's what I'm remembering. Let me look. I can't remember off the top of my head, honestly. UFC. I remember when he fought. Remember when he got disqualified against Diego Sanchez? Hilarious. Oh no. Somehow I ended up on Michelle Pierre. How am I? Where's his Tapology? Okay, here we go. No, that's Michelle Praisers. He's just the one who got suspended. Let's see. Michelle Pereira. I'm trying to remember his most recent fight. Didn't he fight Chaos Williams and he got the win, didn't he? I don't remember. And I'm trying to find his Tapology, but for some reason it can't. It's not coming up for me. Oh, so he won his last 3 fights. Won last 2 by decision. So he's on a 3-fight winning streak right now. And he's fighting. Oh, he is fighting on this upcoming card. That's a low-key good fight. I might just maybe I'll do a prediction video for this one. And you know what's crazy? I didn't even realize that fight was booked. And that's it. I forgot they're 170ers. Because I booked Muslim Saklihov, or however we pronounce his name. I booked him in my video. I didn't realize he had a fight. I didn't even realize he had a fight. So that's good to know. That's a great fight. I'm going to get rid of the sub count now. We don't need that anymore. Whew, I got to catch up on the... But early prediction, probably Pereira, but I may change my mind. Maybe I'll do a prediction video. Marvin Vettori would dismantle Alex. I think Vettori's the champion. Vettori or Whitaker is definitely the champion. But Vettori could do very well. I honestly feel like Izzy's the only one to beat Jake Paul in a boxing match. I would honestly say Holloway and Izzy isn't actually Jake's weight. Anderson Silva would beat him if he takes on Anderson Silva, I believe. But I don't think it's worth the risk of potentially Anderson somehow getting KO'd. But I think Anderson would beat him. The media doesn't do good enough job about calling out the fact he's fighting UFC has-beens who are massively underweight compared to him. I mean, Yamasaki, maybe Silva, but he's kind of older now. I think Silva would definitely destroy him. I think Alex is a high-level kickboxer, but Marv would destroy him. For sure, he's too well rounded. Dana hires plenty of felons. Well, he doesn't hire the ref, it's the athletic commissions. Every time I get on here, my mustache starts itching, guys. Is it Dan McDonald that always looks like he hates life when he refs a fight? I can't remember who it is. But there is one ref that always does look like he hates life. I think it's Keith Peterson, maybe you're thinking about. I don't know. Oliveira wants Conor next. I can't blame him or be mad at him. Best commentator for me is Dan Hardy, John Anik, John Gooden, and maybe Cruz. Besides when he commented the Khabib fight and McGregor fight, also Paul Felder. I don't like Dan Hardy on the commentary, honestly. Okay, sounds good with me. So ridiculous. Have some respect for your sport. Yeah, agreed 100%. It would be ridiculous, but the media would eat it up, and so would MMA YouTubers too. After Juliana beat Amanda, my dad immediately turned to me and said Amanda threw the fight. She really did not show up at all. Her cardio and stand-up was horrible. Yeah, she looked awful. I wonder if she even trained for that fight. It didn't seem like it. I'm thinking she made a lot of money that night somehow, just saying. I talked about that in my video. It's very possible. He fought Nico Price recently. Yep. I think Charlie Olives can shut over Conor and walk him and choke him out in standing in 30 seconds, but whatever. Yeah, I think he would beat him too, but that's not the point. We have to have some integrity to the sport. We don't just give the most popular fighters title shots even when they haven't won a fight at the end of the division in, how many years now? How many years at this point? 5 years he hasn't won a lightweight fight. Guys, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick, and I will be right back. Throw in a bunch of questions in the chat, and I'm going to stay on here for like another 15 minutes, or maybe we'll hit the 2-hour mark. So throw a bunch of questions in the chat, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back. So let's see what other questions we have. I can't believe how many people are on here on Christmas Eve, guys. I appreciate every single one of you. And guys, do me a favor, if you haven't already, make sure to like the stream. That's all I ask. It's super easy. It takes you 2 seconds. Run up the likes in the stream. There's no reason we should have 25 people in here and only 19 likes on the stream. So do me a favor, go like the stream. Juliana looked bad on the stand-up too. Super sloppy fight. Didn't look like a championship fight in my opinion. Disgusting fight. They both looked terrible. I felt like I was watching a street fight. I didn't think Pena could even hurt Amanda in any way, shape, or form, but it will always be the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, I think to get to the bottom of it, I don't think Nunes took her as a serious threat and didn't train very much. So she went out there, she started to face a little bit of adversity. She had no cardio for it, and she got finished and she quit, I still can't believe Khamzat fight hasn't been booked yet. What is going on? I don't know. There's got to be some contract negotiations going on. Dana's been saying for weeks they're working on a fight for him. But it's annoying. I really want to see Khamzat Chimaev fight on UFC 270. I want to see him fight on UFC 270. Marvin Vettori is definitely a championship material. I think he has the potential to beat Izzy if he can dictate where the fight goes. He just looks awful in both fights against Izzy. Awful. I mean, both of them didn't look particularly impressive. Silva don't play around the way he boxes. I am sure he'll let Paul breathe. Mario Ronaldo. Do you think Hamzat beats Colby? I truly believe Colby humbles Hamzat and derails the hype train. Right now, I don't know, man. It's tough because it would be a striking match, and Colby has awful striking, and Hamzat's striking is a little bit unknown, especially against elite level competition. So I think it could go either way. But right now, as I sit here and look at it live on this live stream, I'd say I'd probably pick Colby as well. No, Colby beats Hamzat easily. Thoughts on Sterling as champion? One of the most annoying champions there ever was. It's not his fault. Petr Yan shouldn't have thrown the knee. But Aljamain Sterling does not belong as the champion. And it sucks that we have to wait so long for this wrong to be righted. And I'm telling you, Sterling was praying to everything he loved that Corey Sandhagen won at UFC 267. And he was praying and praying. Luckily, it did not happen. What a catastrophe that would have been if somehow, some way, Corey Sandhagen would have beat Petr Yan and Aljamain Sterling, then beats Corey Sandhagen. Oh my God, what a nightmare that would be. So I think Sterling, honestly, right now, I think Sterling loses to Petr Yan. I think he loses to TJ Dillashaw. I think he loses to Jose Aldo. I'm not sure about the Corey Sandhagen fight. I think Aljo loses to Merab Dvalishvili. Rob Font, Aljamain Rex. So I think Aljamain belongs in that 4, 5, 6 spot, somewhere around there. I don't think he belongs as champion. And I think Petr Yan will rectify that very, very soon, hopefully. But he's very annoying, and seeing him prance around with the belt, celebrating with his family, and he acted. I mean, he put on a performance, but again, at the end of the day, Yan shouldn't have thrown the knee. What's your favorite season of The Ultimate Fighter? I haven't watched that many of them, and I don't remember which one was which anyway. So I can't really say I have a favorite one that I really look fondly on, to be honest. So sorry about that. You should do your top fight events, knockout subs, and MF fight of the year. I'm doing top 5 fights of the year, top 5 knockouts, probably top 5 subs. And I have a few other top 5 videos that should be coming out next week. I really got to work on them and figure out my list. I'm also doing top 5 fights I'm looking forward to in 2022. That might be out tomorrow. I might work on it after this stream. I don't know. I'm a little bit tired, though. I didn't realize I was going to be on here for too long. Costa beat Marvin. I thought that first, but then I realized I was wrong. Costa did look good in that fight. They both looked good in the fight. I thought that Vettori won, but it was a very close fight. Colby will find a way to get Hamzat down. I don't know if he will. One thing for sure, we have from now until May, listen to Gaethje bash these fools. Looking forward to it. I love it. I love it. I think Sandhagen versus Yan was one of my favorite fights this year just because of the high-level chess match. I know. I was so looking forward to that fight on the card. If you remember, if you watched any of my live streams around that time, as well as, my prediction video, that was my favorite fight on the card. I think Sandhagen, okay, Reyes knockout has to be in your list for sure. That might be number 1. Who does Rockhold fight when he comes back? I wish he was fighting Sean Strickland still. It's annoying that he's not. Why is it that Yan seems only want to be able to give Sterling a problem? I don't think that's accurate. I mean, Marlon Moraes knocked him out. I think Marlon Moraes would probably beat him again too. That sounds crazy. I'm not high on Aljamain Sterling at all. But he did beat Sandhagen and destroy him. Damn, his last loss was Marlon, that KO. But it's because he hasn't fought. He's fought decent competition. Don't get me wrong. He's fought damn good competition, actually. Looking at it right here. But you look at the division, it's drastically different. And I think he loses to a lot of those top guys. He definitely beats Rob Font, though. Thoughts on Till versus Hall? Darren Till versus Uriah Hall is one fight that I absolutely do not care about. Neither guy is ever going to be champion. I doubt either guy ever even fights for a belt. Darren Till has been overrated for years and years and years. And I've said that long before he lost to Derek Brunson. You can go to look at my prediction video. I predict Derek Brunson to win that fight. Not to say that Darren Till is I'm not saying he's a trash fighter. I'm just saying people have him as some mythical, elite, world-class striker, and that's just not who he is. He's a very good striker. He's a very good fighter, but he's not some absolute world-class world beater. And, I'm tired of people pretending he was. So, it is what it is. How many fights do you think Max Holloway has in him? He has been hit so many times and hard. Let me actually ask a poll question before I answer that. Do you care about this fight? About Till versus Hall? I'm genuinely curious. Am I the only one that doesn't care about that fight? I need to know, guys. Vote in the poll I just put in the chat. You can vote in the poll on the chat. But Max Holloway, as far as how many fights he has left, I don't know, man. Eventually that chin's gonna go. When you're eating so many strikes constantly, that chin's gonna go. I wouldn't doubt if Volkanovski sleeps him in their trilogy. So I'll say Max Holloway has 3 fights left. That's the best answer I can give you. Justin G. Michael Chandler was favorite fight of the year. Amazing fight. Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler was absolutely amazing, guys. Let me see if I actually have this on here. I'm actually. Let me see. There it is. Okay. There's this. Let me pull up this. I'm gonna show you guys something that I bought. Image 2, browse, downloads. I'm going to put it on my stream real quick. There's this guy called The Art of the Fight, and he makes these prints of certain fights and certain fighters. And I actually bought this print, and I'm having it framed. I actually dropped it off yesterday of Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. You can no longer buy it. He only makes them available for a certain period of time. But this is what he did. Look at this print. I bought this from him online. How amazing is that? I love that Gaethje versus Chandler fight. But look at that awesome artwork. It's called The Art of the Fight. He makes limited time prints for a certain amount of time. You can buy them. Absolutely love that one. Had to buy it. Ordered it. And then getting it framed. Paid to get it framed a specific way. Because I want it. It's going to look so nice. And I'm going to have it. I'll show you guys when I get it back. But yeah, Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler was amazing. Tony Ferguson, Dariush is my second favorite fight of the year. Calm down, bro. Can you believe Paddy Pimblett going to fight at 272 instead of the London card? Is that official yet? I haven't heard that's official. Do you think Khabib fought enough of the elite fighters to be considered a GOAT? To be lightweight GOAT? Yes. As of right now, yes. But to be overall GOAT? No. Was there any fights where you straight up slept through or maybe a fight card? There was fight cards I wanted to sleep through, but no, I did not. There's not one that I can point out that I slept through. There's a couple fight cards I would have skipped had I not been live streaming. I live streamed it because it was so bad I don't think I could watch it in my spare time. I do these live streams. We usually gain a few new subscribers here and there on the live streams, but I mainly do it for the people who are already here, who enjoy these. And I have fun interacting with you guys during these fights. But some of these fight cards are so bad, even on paper, that I don't even really want to watch. But I'm gonna watch them anyway, and it's more entertaining for me to watch them with you guys through the live stream. But Ketlin Vieira, Miesha Tate was one of them. To be honest, I think Till vs. Hall might be a 5-round snooze fest with both of them being cautious. I can't stand. They're both just awful. Wonderboy had the fight standing for like 20 seconds and was lighting up a wall. Sadly, he's so easy to take down. Plus the smaller cage. How many fights does Dustin P have in him? Not very many. I'll say 3. Thoughts on Hooker moving down the weight, potentially fighting Korean Zombie? Love it. He's got to do something. Beautiful picture. That's fire. I was joking about Tony Ferguson, Dariush. That was a shit show. I know. What's the most disappointing, worst fight of the year for you? That's a good question. Let me get rid of this image real quick. Transition, get rid of this. I don't have an answer for that for you right off the top of my head, but last year was definitely Yo Romero versus Israel Adesanya. Disappointing fight of the year. Which was the worst fight? All Kamaru Usman's title defenses were good. Brandon Moreno, Davison Figueroa was good. I want to say Jan versus Aljamain Sterling just because of the ending, honestly. That was the most. Just the ending was super disappointing to me. Guys, someone go break the poll. Someone go break the tie on the poll. Do you care about Uriah Hall versus Darren Till fight? So worst fight of the year is probably Norma Dumont versus, I don't even remember who she fought anymore, or Miesha Tate versus Ketlin Vieira. Terrible main events. Had no business being a main event. And it was terrible. It was terrible, terrible, terrible. I'm a new subscriber, and I'll definitely be tuning in a bunch. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. And I'm happy to have you part of the community here. We always have fun on these live streams. This was a random live stream. I do these here and there, but I stream every single Wednesday, usually, a live chat, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I schedule it a day ahead of time so you guys can see it in the feed. But bare minimum, every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, I do a live stream. I appreciate you becoming part of the community. My most shocking moment of the year was Jorge Masvidal getting KO'd by Usman and Conor McGregor getting knocked out by Dustin in the second fight. And third, Kevin Lee getting cut. Yeah, I mean, Jorge Masvidal knockout was crazy. Getting knocked out was absolutely insane. All right, someone broke the tie, and now they say yes, they care about it. I wanted it to be no. Everyone go vote no in the Darren Till poll. Go vote no in the Darren Till poll. There were some pretty horrible fights on Contender Series. I know I live streamed the Contender Series all year. Ugh. If anybody's watching this right now and they're not subscribed to the channel, go subscribe to the channel. I'm so close to 2,000. I can almost taste it. We are 169 subscribers away from 2,000 subscribers. If you guys have any friends that will watch the content, send them my channel. If they're not going to watch it, don't send them. I don't want fake subscribers. But if you have any friends that will watch the channel and enjoy the channel, send them the channel and tell them to subscribe. Isn't Kevin Lee supposed to fight Diego Sanchez in Khabib's new promotion? Supposedly, that's the rumor. That's the rumor they're looking for. Disgusting. There was also some great fights on there. Very, very true. There were some great fights on the Contender Series, especially the first 2-3 weeks. There were some very great fights on there. I got a feeling it's going to be Tony Ferguson versus Bobby Green next. That should be a good fight. I hope so. That would be a great fight. That'd be a very, very great fight. I'd love that stylistic matchup. Okay, guys. We are getting ready to hit 2 hours. So I'm going to be on here for 3 more minutes. So any questions you have, throw them in there. If you guys want to support the channel, you can become a member. We got custom emojis for use in the chat, as well as the comments, as well as a members-only Discord. And once you sign up to be a member for 1 month, you are never kicked out of the Discord. So you guys can message me directly at any time on the Discord. We have a lot of fun on there. I post a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, what I'm working on, what my setup looks like, a bunch of different videos that I'm working on. And also, you guys can message me directly. So if you want to become a member, the link is in the description. It doesn't cost very much. It's just a way to support the channel and get extra benefits. Don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to subscribe, all that stuff. And let's get to some of these last couple questions. And then once we hit the 2 hour mark, I am off of here. And hopefully I have a video out tomorrow on Christmas. So now I'm going to end the poll because it looks like most people care about that fight. If Patty does fight Cowboy, I'm going the same as Alex Morono versus Cowboy. Probably. Honestly, probably. But imagine if Patty loses. That's career defining. What's next for Chaos Williams? I don't know, man. I hope there's some great fights for him. I hope he has a great matchup next. I mean, there's so many great fighters within that division. Somebody gave me a great matchup for him next, and I can't remember what it was. So, and I can't think. I'm actually getting tired. Who would you pick, Tony Ferguson or Bobby Green? I'd probably go Tony Ferguson, but that's a tough fight. Bobby Green sometimes comes out and looks amazing. Jorge punched Leon and then doesn't take the fight with him, but is able to fight Jake Paul if the money's right. I stopped being a fan when he didn't take the fight with Leon deserved. Yeah, and then he took the fight in December and then pulled out. And now a couple weeks later after the fight, he's saying that, I'm healthy and no one wants to fight me. Dude, Leon's been calling for that fight for literal years. It's annoying. Kevin Holland versus Chaos Williams. That's the fight. Yeah, I think we talked about that in the Discord. I love that fight. I hope that fight happens. So Chaos Williams versus Kevin Holland is the fight to make. Kevin Holland's dropping down to welterweight. And I honestly think he is overhyped and wouldn't say he's a journeyman like Colby says, but not a long shot. He used to be underrated, and now he's overrated. You know, ever since he KO'd Ben Askren with the flying knee, he's been massively overrated, and it's been so annoying. Um, and I hope, I hope we see Leon Edwards fight Masvidal eventually, but at this point, I'm convinced we're never going to see it. Does Pereira have a fight? If not, who would you like to see him fight? He does have a fight. He's fighting Muslim Slakikov. I can't pronounce his name. I'm terrible at this pronunciations. But yes, he does. Number 15 ranked in the welterweight division. All right, guys, that's it. We did a 2-hour live stream on Christmas Eve. Have a Merry Christmas if you celebrate it. If not, have a good weekend regardless. Bare minimum, I'll be doing a live stream on Wednesday. If you're watching the replay of this, comment down below SpongeBob Popsicle so I know you made it all the way to the end. If anybody, it better not be someone who's in here live, but someone who is watching the replay, comment down below SpongeBob Popsicle, and I know you watched the replay all the way to the very end. Pitties and STI. Now I gotta wait for the gift to pop up. There's a gift that's gonna pop up right here. Thank you so much for the $10 donation. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. Happy holiday to you as well, my friend. Everyone in the chat, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Merry Christmas. All that good stuff. I want to wait for this gift to pop up now. I need to wait for it to pop up. It should pop up any second now. I think there it goes. Pitties, man. You always supporting the channel. I appreciate it so much. You have no idea. And there we go. So let's see what you guys are saying. Happy holidays, Torin Brown. Good night, Uncle. Merry Christmas to you, Heights. Merry Christmas, Dumont and Lod. The clucking contest. Bro, I once found a perfect SpongeBob Popsicle, no joke. Yeah, I'm hoping someone who watches this replay comments it on the video. So, yeah, once it's over. All right, guys, enjoy your holiday. I'll see you guys Wednesday on the live stream. And I should have a video coming out tomorrow, but don't quote me on that. Don't worry about it, my friend. I appreciate you very much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this amazing 2-hour stream.